Hello, Internet. Welcome back to our Cataclysm Dark Days Ahead series. In the last episode, we spent pretty much the entirety of the video moving items from inside of our base and storing them in our vehicle. This is an important part of moving on because we plan to leave this town, and it is pretty tedious to do this, but it's also something that's very necessary. And once you have it kind of figured out and you have all the zones laid out, you really don't have to do it again. And that's really it for the recap. Like I said, we didn't do very much at all. Oh god, as soon as I moved, all the crickets started chirping, so that's exciting. Let's eat something. Oh, all of our stuff is in our base now, or in our vehicle now, so we have to eat in here. Also worth noting, once again, I'm having some issues with my microphone. I don't know what Windows' problem is, but hopefully is not going to be an issue. So if I sound quieter than usual, I'll do anything I can in post to fix that, but you never really know with Windows. I did just order some stuff from Amazon that should hopefully improve the audio quality of the stream. I'm skeptical it's going to do very much, but you never really know. It might be a noticeable improvement. So, yeah. We're gonna eat something. We're just gonna eat this fruit leather because I don't care. And I think we're good to go. Didn't we? We were gonna butcher some clothing. Oh no, that's right. So basically, I forgot. At the end of the last episode, I said I would do this off camera and kind of sort out the few remaining things here. But you can see that obviously is not something I did. So it looks like we have spare materials that need to be given a tile here. Looks like maybe our spare parts are full. The thing is with, yeah, we just gave it that one tile. Oh, and it counts batteries as well. Yeah, the thing about spare parts is that they're of varying sizes. So like here we have these cardboard boxes of duct tape. It takes up more space than removing the duct tape, which we could do, but I'm not that interested in min-maxing. Of course, as soon as I'm 2 minutes into the recording, I hear someone is mowing nearby. So it's going to be one of those days where everything just kind of stacks up against me. What we're going to do, we're going to add a couple more spare parts tiles here, so that they have a little bit more space. I'm going to record through the mowing, provided that it doesn't get too loud, so hopefully that is something that will be okay. And then I wanted to make a custom zone. I believe in the last episode, does it still exist, or did I remove it? I think I removed it. So I was doing this wrong. Basically, you go to custom zone, and then you want a filter, and what we want to put here is battery, because battery is what we want filtered into this. So I don't know how it takes priority over other parts. So if a battery exists as a spare part tile, I don't know if it will first sort to the custom zone or not. But we're just going to call this battery, and we're going to place that on our battery charger. So now, and yes, save changes. So now if I sort out, this should all be on unsorted piles, I believe. Okay, that the lawnmower sounds a couple doors down, but it sounds like it's getting closer. Super exciting. Let's not think about it. Just pretend it doesn't exist. So now if we sort, hopefully these things will go into, yeah, there's our spare parts. So like I said, some of these take up a lot of space, like the rags, the felt patches, things like that. So let's check our battery compartment. And yes, you'll see it did filter batteries. So what I was doing in the previous episode when I was assigning the custom zone, I was using the dash key, the minus sign. And what that means is that it actually excludes items if you put a minus sign in front of it. So basically when we tried that, it put it put everything except for a battery in that zone, which was obviously a mistake. And I see here none of the heavy batteries made it onto this tile. Are you full? You are not full. You have so much space left. So where are my heavy? Oh, maybe they got sorted already into the spare parts zones. That lawnmower is going to be problematic. I really hate living where I live. Like, I love my family, and I appreciate that they give me a place to stay, but more and more I'm growing to dislike my neighborhood. And like, I was out today. I ran to the dollar store, and I was out today, and there's this lady who lives up the street with her son and her husband. And the son is like my age. We went to school together. So he still lives at home as well. He was always a mama's boy, which is fine. I'm not being super judgmental or anything. But, and I swear to God, they were laughing at me. I got out of my car. I had just a coffee in my hand, got out of my car, and they were pointing over towards me, and she was laughing. And I was like, is this lady really just laughing at me while I'm getting out of my car? And I'm hoping, like maybe I'm just confused. Maybe I missed something. Maybe she was, you know, pointing to something else. I don't know. But it felt really bad to have a straight, you know, a lady pointing over my direction and laughing. So I just don't love that. Where are my heavy batteries? I know we have heavy batteries because we use them to power the forge. So, and also where is my forge? Because I don't see my forge anywhere. Okay, where is my tool pile? Why are you vacant, by the way? What tile did I make you that you have no anything in you? So we're looking one northeast here. North, northwest. One north, chemicals. So why don't you have chemicals in you? We had chemicals. We had a whole bunch of bleach and stuff, remember? Because that's why we made that chemicals tile. See, why does this have to be difficult? This should be a very straightforward thing. Let's go just all around us and look for, like, bleach. No bleach. Okay, let's try over here. Look for bleach. No bleach. Uh-huh. So where? Out here? Maybe? Slash all bleach? Yeah, so we just had so many jugs of bleach and ammonia. Remember? Because we wanted to put them in our vehicle. And they're just gone now, I guess. You know, I do remember this. We had this happen before, where we lost a bunch of items when we were auto sorting things into our vehicle. And we never did find them in the previous playthrough. So I remember saying I thought it was a bug, but then I thought, oh no, I probably just did something wrong. So where would all the bleach and stuff have gone to? I'm gonna check. I know this is boring. I'm gonna check every tile. I don't, like, we had multiple like gallon jugs of bleach and stuff. Remember, because we were talking in the previous episode about making them into super glue. Yeah, so that stuff is just gone, huh? That stuff is just gone, huh? I mean, I don't understand. This is a very frustrating thing that happens sometimes. I don't know where it would have put those things. And it makes me wonder if that is where my heavy batteries went as well, because they seem to have just to have vanished from existence. And I know we had heavy batteries because we do have a forge here. And we had 2 or 3 batteries that could fit in the forge. And here we have one that is still left in the forge. But our chemicals seem to have evaporated into thin air. So that's exciting. Great. Alright, well, it's not like I spent, you know, tons of real time gathering all this stuff up. Alright, screw me, I guess. Alright, so let's haul this stuff inside so that it will also get sorted into the tools pile. So that should take care of that stuff. And then we apparently don't have a books pile, so that'll be the last thing we make. Why don't we put that on, let's say, the mutagen and drugs are on a tile. They tend to not take up very much space. We could do that. What else do we have that doesn't take up very much space? Ammo would be on the same tile as guns and other weapon parts, probably. Magazines, a same tile. Yeah, let's just put them let's put them with the drugs. So one to the northwest here. Yeah, why is my chemical, that frustrates me so much. I don't understand why my chemical pile is just completely empty. All that stuff just disappeared, huh? Alright. Well, let's quickly add a books pile here. And then we also need a bionics pile, I believe. We'll put that with chemicals, I guess. And we'll save changes. I mean, it didn't put them on the ground. Which, I know whenever I get stuck on something like this, where I'm confused and I don't understand something that's happening, I will get comments where people are like, hey, maybe just forget about it and move on. But like, I mean, honestly, if you experience this in your playthrough where you had a whole bunch of chemicals and then they're just gone, you would be annoyed as well, I think. So I think it's understandable. Presumably the CBMs are already in our vehicle. Spare parts. Why don't we unload a bunch of this duct tape to take with us, because it's probably one of the more valuable spare parts that we have laying around. That should auto put them in our inventory, I believe. It did not. Alrighty. Oh, it did. No, it did. It did. Okay. I see we have batteries in our inventory, but we don't have chemicals, so I still don't know what happened to them. All right, and I think we're good to move. So we're going to be moving in this episode, which, you know, in addition to the issues we're experiencing right now, is going to be a bit of a tedious process. You know, if you've never driven really through a town, or you've never seen someone do this, it's a very slow process that tends to take a fair bit of time and is pretty tedious and not a lot of fun. Man, I really wish I knew where these chemicals went. The only chemical tile we have is in our vehicle, so there's nowhere else that they would have gone. So, all right. Do we want to wait until daylight? Probably not. Doesn't really matter, does it? Let's drop those batteries to clear up our inventory a fair bit here. And then everything else we will mark. Did we mark an unsorted tile? We did. So we can just dump the remnants on the unsorted pile. They'll get sorted out as we need them, or as there's space available for them. So we're good to go. And I think we're going to be leaving, I mean, not leaving the town because the town extends very far, but we're going to probably be moving over to this area. First, we're going to head north here and check this and see if there might be a science lab over here. I suspect there probably isn't. We haven't had very much luck with that thus far, but it's something. It's something for us to do, and could hold a lot of value if we find what we're looking for. So I think we are good. We should, let's install a fog light. Now, what are they called? I can't remember what they're called, but we're going to install some sort of headlight here. Floodlight, that's what I'm thinking of. So we'll install a floodlight, pop the curtains open, make sure we have the aisle lights off, turn on the vehicle, and turn on the, what is it? Overhead lights? No. Is it overhead lights? Oh, it is. Okay. So you'll see the range we get from a floodlight is pretty substantial. This is, I believe, about the same range we would get from headlights, more or less. It's pretty close. The difference being that the floodlight is a sphere, so it will attempt to pour light out in a complete sphere around wherever it's installed. Obviously for us, because the vehicle blocks line of sight and whatnot, that's not really super relevant. We can see, if you look behind us, it actually is illuminating directly behind us where we can see. So if we would put these, you know, kind of around our vehicle, it would end up with a big sphere around our vehicle. So we did want a light. It just makes driving at night a little bit easier. I'm not sure why our vision jumped over there. And yeah, let's head to the north here. We have repaired most of our vehicle. I don't see a reason to stick around. I'm gonna do one more check. I know, internet, you just want me to leave, but I gotta check one more time because we're leaving. We're not gonna come back. A lot of filthy clothes I don't care about. Steel frames, vehicle parts. Taking backup tires can be pretty valuable, but I'm not gonna sit here and, you know, drag all that stuff in. And yeah, we look good. I'll always take a backup PBA mask just in case. Everything else, I mean, we can source this stuff pretty much anywhere we want. Only thing I'm mad about is the chemicals. I don't know where that stuff got to. All right. So if we go back here, yeah, you can see that the light extends far beyond our vehicle here. All right, so we're going to move on. Now, before we pull away and drive away, I am going to back up and see if maybe it dropped my chemicals on the ground somehow, which I suspect it didn't, but let's just make sure here. What is that purple percent sign? Usually percent is food. It's some Necco wafers. And a whole bunch of my clothing on the ground. Why? Why is my clothing on the ground? Stop driving. What is this? Do you have chemicals on this pile? You have all kinds of stuff. There's my CBMs. Yeah, here's my stuff. How did that get under the vehicle? Or was it not under... Was I just not paying attention, internet? You're probably screaming at me that I'm an idiot. This whole thing. I should have done this off camera. I really should have. Alright, let's try making this unsorted. And just hopefully it just dumps this stuff in our vehicle here. And saves me a bunch of grief. There it's moving all the chemicals, which is good. So it will also have moved the CBMs. Those were the priority, obviously, in taking this stuff. So we can see they're no longer in this list. The clothing, like I said, we could dissect a lot of the leather, which we actually should do, presuming it doesn't take a lot of time. Do I have leather patches in my spare parts piles? You know, we did raid some sewing locations previously. Just bleach, huh? You know, and I'm not even wearing leather gear. It just hurts to leave behind leather, because when you need leather and you can't find it, it becomes very obnoxious to try and find it. You can probably repair that motorcycle armor once we start raising our skills a bit. Take the tourniquets. Anything else jumping out at me that's like strictly necessary? We've used the maps, so that's not a big deal. Definitely the ID cards. Memory card, no. I'll take some rolling papers. I mean, we can make them if we need them. Chitin and stuff, no, I don't think so. I would like the electronic stuff. Is generally pretty valuable. I'm not going to take a microwave generator with me. Plastic chunks, just take up too much space. The reality is we can source basically anything from later in the game. Here are all the wallets. I'm not sure why they didn't get sorted. And toolboxes as well. Okay, let's dump this stuff. I just want to leave. I just want to leave this area and not come back. Packing up is always an ordeal. You know, everybody goes through this when they're trying to move out to a new area of town. It's just one of those things where, like, when you're trying to do YouTube, you're like, oh, I got to keep things moving, keep things exciting. And then you end up spending a whole episode sorting through your junk, you know, and people I'm sure don't want to watch this. All right, let's grab those toolboxes because I don't know what tools are inside of them. And obviously we, you know, value our tools. That's not something we want to leave behind. We can unload some of these wallets just to look at, I mean, if they have cash cards or ID cards or anything like that. I'm pretty sure it's just going to be discount cards, which is what you usually find in wallets. Maybe some condoms, things like that, which I don't think any of those are particularly valuable. Alrighty. Flint and flare. Anything jump out at me? Bills. Let's just look at the pile and search for ID. No ID cards. Let's just look for card. SD cards. Oh, it must have put everything, yep, right in my inventory. My mistake. So no ID cards, huh? Yeah, I don't need most of this. I mean, it's just not worth the time. Let's unload the toolboxes as well. Toolbox. And because we don't know what these items are, odds are good that we have these things in our inventory already, but let's sort that. That'll put the tools in there. And the reason it didn't sort the toolboxes is because when items are in certain containers, they can only be put into container storage places, but I don't usually leave a place in my vehicle for containers. I usually try to take everything out. Because otherwise you end up with a tile that's just full of empty jugs and cans and stuff like that, which are just not valuable. I mean, I don't really wear holsters. I don't think we need any of that. All that firefighter gear is a bit of a bummer to leave behind. But again, we can just find more. Okay, I'm moving on. I'm tired of this place. Let's get out of here, internet. All right. Too heavy for its engines. Yeah, that'll happen when you have hundreds of pounds of crap. Okay, let's get her rolling here. Okay. I do like that the RAM on an angle changes sprite. So instead of being X's, it kind of becomes this weird cross thing. Anyway, let's head up north. Yes, so again, apologies for the tedious, you know, aspect. We're 20 minutes in. Unfortunately, I'm sure a lot of people already checked out of the video. So hey, it's just you and me now, internet. Thank you for listening. Thank you for being one of the good ones that sticks it out through the tough times. You know, and it's a bummer, but it's part of the game, right? Like, I complain about tedious stuff sometimes. Like, when I come across a horde in an area and I end up shooting, you know, dozens of enemies, it's a part of the game, but it does feel not entertaining when you're doing it. Like, I always worry that people are going to be like, man, he's just shooting zombies. That's this whole episode. And then they'll check out, is my fear. So I worry about the same stuff when it comes to, you know, sorting items or looking for one particular item, that sort of thing. I think people check out a lot. I don't think I have binoculars in my inventory anymore, and it's nighttime, so the odds of us actually being able to see this from far away is not good. So we're gonna have to drive pretty close to be able to see a dachshund, right, is how you say that, dachshund. I don't know if they're large dogs or not. We probably should stop. We are about out of meat. These floodlights, by the way, are going to draw a significant amount of power from our vehicle. I think it's 100 watts, which is pretty substantial. And we really don't want to leave them on and forget about them. So we do have to keep in mind that we have headlights now that we have to turn off when we're not using them. I mean, the solar panels are more than enough, but whatever. Let's, where's this pupper? No, those are not puppers. To the north, okay. Let's, oh god, so close. Okay, let's zoom back to normal here. Pop out of our vehicle. Have a look at the puppers. Oh, you're obscured by some trees. I don't know, are you a big dog? Let's look at this. A wiener dog. Oh no! I have a wiener dog. In real life. I don't want to do this. It looks adorable as it bumbles around. Its tiny size makes it hard to shoot, you monster. You know what? You know what? You get a pass. You get a pass, wiener dog. I own a wiener dog in real life. I love my dog. I can't. And the description called me a monster, so I can't do it. I'm sorry. Can't do it. Plus, I mean, they're not like the meatiest. It's not like it's a huge dog that would provide a lot of meat. So let's just move on. Pupper gets to live another day. The pair of them, assuming they don't get got by the zombies. So this looks promising. This looks like a regular lab, maybe. It's not the lab that we want. We want the science lab. Grabber zombie can rip me out of my vehicle, which is real bad for me. Yeah, this looks like a regular lab. What is this? Oh, it's a warehouse. Sure, we can pop in here and see what's going on. The grabber zombie makes me nervous. Let's stop and just melee it. Turn off those lights, by the way. We don't need those. Stop driving, pop on out. Come over here, lad. And we'll dispatch you. Oh, it doesn't see me. Come here. There you go. It will grab us to it. I'm not really worried about that. That's not really a huge issue. Okay. Okay, now you really grabbed me. Let's murder it. Let's just stand here and deal with it. Multi-tool, always nice to have. Nothing else. That's fine. I do want to pop back here on the other side of the vehicle where our clothes are, and I want to look for our binoculars. And let's clear that other filter as well. So let's look for binocs. Really? Nothing? Oh, where are my binoculars? Do they count as tools, maybe? Maybe they don't count as clothing? They're definitely clothes, though. Let's look here for... Go to all squares. I don't know why you're selecting some things. I want all squares. Okay, all... There we go. Okay, binoculars. So we left our binoculars behind. Doesn't make sense. Should have been sorted into our vehicle. Okay. That's unfortunate. We're not wearing them because I didn't want to wear multiple strapped items. It's very frustrating when this stuff continually happens. I don't really need to carry toolboxes. Let's dump most of this stuff though. I mean, I guess it's my fault, you know. I guess we just didn't have space in the vehicle when it got left behind. I'm not going back. Let's drop this stuff. Binoculars are pretty valuable. It's something that, you know, if this were you, I would maybe encourage you to go back and pick them back up, but I just don't care. It's just not that. You know, they're helpful, but they're not strictly necessary. Check this cube van here. Some meth. Looks like it's a meth van. Examine vehicle. What is this? Is this like a chemistry station? No. Here. Onboard chemistry lab. Including a hot plate and electrolysis. Yeah. So this can be used for a little bit more chemistry applications than the kitchen unit would be able to use for, I believe. You'll see here it has a chemistry set and an electrolysis kit. This is generally a valuable vehicle part. I just don't usually use them. I usually find a standalone chemistry kit in a science lab, which is where I will mainly get that sort of stuff. So I end up not really, you know, I don't like it occupying a space in my vehicle. Now, when I first started playing and I did a lot more chemistry stuff, I would use that. Like, you can make your own painkiller and stuff. I don't think I really want that. We probably should harvest it just to have it, but I don't know that we're going to do that. So we're going to check this warehouse. Last time we were checking around, we found a bunch of books in one of these industrial locations. Okay, this is going to take a minute to sift through. Let's pop this thing open. Let's go get our claw bar so we can pop these crates. I think last time I was in a warehouse, we found some leather trench coats, and that was the most valuable thing we found. So not a lot here, but let's check to be sure. Grab the claw bar. We'll go in and poke around a bit, and we'll look through some of these boxes. Again, something that's very tedious because you have to move up on the boxes to be able to see in them. Antibiotics in the first crate, pretty great. Plastic spoon, plastic utensils, clothing, leather pants. Okay, so here I'm seeing frying pan, drinking glass. Yeah, so here's, I'm seeing an issue. Most warehouses in real life, they do contain a multitude of materials. Like you definitely can find a warehouse that contains both clothing and, you know, plastic utensils and antibiotics and stuff. You could potentially find a warehouse that stocks all of those things, but for the most part, that's not really how it works in an industrial setting. Most of the time, if a warehouse is like owned by a factory, it's going to be exclusively kind of like one type of thing, like not one specific thing. Like obviously it wouldn't be a whole warehouse full of sporks, right? They would have a multitude of like cookware and dishes and utensils and things like that. But in general, you wouldn't see such close proximity to like having such a variety of stuff. So I do wish it was kind of a little bit more of one specific item type. Because if we had come in here and it was just clothing, I would have just bailed out by now. But because we've seen like antibiotics and here we have a first aid kit, it's worthwhile to look through these things. And here we just have a bunch of books, which if I didn't already have them, you know, it would be nice to find that. So now I kind of have to sift through these manually, which is time consuming, and we're probably not really going to get anything out of it, to be completely honest. Yeah, mostly utensils though, so I guess there is some consistency in that. We will take duct tape. Popping crates. I'm going popping crates. Only got $20 in my pocket. Alright, so I think we're not going to go through every single thing. Let's get out of here. But we did find some antibiotics, and this first aid kit will have a variety of valuables. What I would like to see as well, we talk about this sometimes on Discord, I would like to see industrial locations kind of have like a wall-mounted shelf that is built for a first aid kit. So like, I would like, if you, let's say you go into a fast food restaurant, I would like one of the walls to have a commercial first aid kit on it, because every like restaurant is required by law to have certain medical stuff. Every factory, every warehouse is required by law in the United States to have first aid materials on hand. So I would really like to see that happen. In the game, I would like to see industrial first aid kits and commercial first aid kits, as well as like the personal home first aid kits that we find. Currently right now, it's pretty much the home first aid kits, and well, like first aid kit in this game is very much a catch-all. It's not really one specific thing. And then the IFAC obviously is like military standard issue equipment. So that's, you know, obviously, I mean, I don't know if it's standard issue. I don't think everyone carries in IFAC, but you know what I mean. It's a military specific first aid kit. So, all right, so that warehouse isn't really much of anything. Let's pop up here really quick. God, we really should go back and get our binoculars. I hate it. I hate the idea of going back. Oh, hello. You flip on the lights and you see some monsters. Vine beasts, an animated mass of roots and vines creeping along the ground with alarming speed. The tangle is thick enough that the center from which they grow is concealed. Yeah, so you gotta assume there's probably like a monster in there. So these are triffids, huh? We're real far from where we saw the triffids previously, so I'm guessing there's another triffid infestation over here, like a separate one. Here's the other one. We're so far away from that, I cannot imagine that they're from the same cluster, so this must be another triffid infected area. Fungal fighter. Those are also triffids, right? Fungal fighters? Triffid? Triffid? We are getting horde music. I can just barely hear it. Oh, you're very close. Hello. Woody plant that can dig through the ground and flick spines from its branches. Thorns carry a fungicidal compound with paralytic effects. Yeah. I'm gonna close this door. Just keep you out, and we're gonna speed up. Oh, just a ton of triffids, huh? Triffid queen. Zombie bites the triffid. Yeah, what is this up here? A mansion. Nope. Nope, 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 nope. So, mansions in the game used to be really valuable. Like, if you started... I don't think we even have them as a starting scenario anymore. You used to be able to start as like a butler in a mansion, which I thought was a really fun start. And back in the day, mansions were pretty difficult because the exterior would be surrounded by very fast zombies, like zombie runners and things like that. And then the interior would have like corrosives and tanks and all kinds of scary stuff. After the changes to the way zombie evolution works, they're less dangerous than they used to be, but they also took a hit on loot density. At some point in like the last year and a half, mansions now are very empty of, like, their main value before was that you could walk in and immediately find like a full suit of armor, right? Which is incredibly powerful in the early game. You would find rapiers, you would find all pikes, you would find already manufactured very powerful melee weapons. So mansions were really, really good for that. Now, if you go to a mansion, most of those weapons are replicas. They're not even real weapons, so they damage really easy. They have much lower damage values and things like that. Suits of armor, I can't remember the last time I found one in a mansion, and literally some of the mansions are completely empty. I believe that is a result of some merging like mod stuff. Ended up making it so that a lot of mansions are just completely empty. So I don't really mess with mansions. They tend to have a lot of monster density. The loot there isn't very good anymore. Honestly, the main thing you'll find in a mansion is a bunch of alcohol, which I just don't really care about. It's so readily available. So I'm not saying it doesn't have value. There definitely is value in going to a mansion, but I don't really see a reason to do it. We're going to pop back to base, see if we can find our binoculars. Super, super fun. Glad I came back. Super exciting. All right. Zoom in, pop out. They should be right here. Binoculars. Of course they're not. Where would you be? Binoculars. No binoculars. Great. None there. Binoculars. Okay, well, I checked my clothing pile. I checked my tool pile. Where else are... Well, what else would be binoculars? They're not in my inventory. Oh my god, they're in my inventory. I'm so stupid. Okay. Hooray. Alright, everyone. We're going to call the episode there on my idiocy. Thank you for watching. Hopefully you enjoyed the video. I'll be back with more Cataclysm Dark Days Ahead in the near future, and I'll see you in the next video.